Hello everyone, welcome to S2S Classes. In this video, we will study Chapter 6 of Unit 3, Class 5th NCERT, that is, Robinson Crusoe discovers a footprint. So if you have not subscribed our channel yet, please subscribe it and like this video and give your valuable comments in the section below. So with the name, we can have an idea that this man must be Robinson Crusoe, and he discovers a footprint. So footprint is basically the print of the foot when we walk. So I'll show you a footprint and how it looks like. Okay, so this is how a footprint looks like, and I hope it is clear to you. So now let us begin with the chapter. Robinson Crusoe's ship had been destroyed by the sea. He had been alone for many years and longed for company. One day he discovers a footprint on the sand. Let's find out what he did then. So we now know that he was alone from a long time, and then he saw a footprint, and now we will read that what he did after that. So one day when I was going towards my boat, I was surprised to see the footprint of a man on the sand. I stood amazed. I listened. I looked around me. I could neither hear nor see anything. So he saw a footprint, but nothing else. I went up higher to look down. I went up the shore and down the shore, but it was no good. I could find no other footprint but that one. I went to it again to see if there were any more footprints and to tell if it had been my imagination. But I was not mistaken, for there was exactly the print of a foot, toes, heel, every part of a foot. I could not imagine how it came here. I stayed a long time thinking, but it became more and more confused. So, confusion was created, and there was no output for it. Now, let's see what happened. At last, I returned home very frightened, looking behind me after every 2 or 3 steps, mistaking every bush and tree to be a man. Now he was confused and scared as well. So while returning home, he was checking after every 2 steps that if someone was following him or not. When I came to my cave, which I called my castle, so he lived in a cave. He lived in a cave. He called it his castle. He called it his castle. Now, I ran inside it as if I was being chased. I do not remember whether I used the ladder or went in by the hole in the... We'll continue the chapter now in the next. So now, the last line was, or went by in the hole in the rock which I called the door. So there was a hole which he treated as a door to the castle, that means to the cave. I ran for cover faster than any animal could run. I did not sleep that night. The more I thought about what I had seen, the more afraid I became. I thought it could be one of the savages of the mainland who had wandered out to the sea in a small boat. Now he was shocked, scared, and confused as well. So, luckily, I was not on shore at that time. But what if he had seen my boat? If he had seen the boat, he would have realized that someone lived on the island and would soon return with others to kill and eat me. So, he had different thoughts in his mind and he didn't know what to do now. So I lay fearful for many days and prayed for protection. In doing so, I was much comforted and began going out to investigate. But even now, as I went forward, I looked behind me frequently because I was still very frightened. So he began his investigation. Began his investigation. Now, however, as I went about for 2 or 3 days and saw nothing, I became a little bolder. I decided to go down to the shore again and examine the footprints once more. I decided to measure it with my own footmark. As I came closer to the footprint, I realized that it could not be my footprint because I had not come to this part of the beach since a long time. Secondly, as I placed my foot alongside that footprint, it seemed larger than my own. My fear returned. I went home again, believing that there was someone there. The island was inhabited. So this has been adapted from Daniel Defoe's Robinson Crusoe. It is a normal part from it. You can read about it more on Google. So what happened next? He found the footprint to be different. Footprint to be different, and he made up his mind that the island was inhabited. So here are some new words which we learned from the chapter. It is savages. Savages are the wild people in primitive state. Now mainland, large continuous extent of land. Boulder is more confident, and wandered is go from place to place without a definite route. So these were the 4 words which we learned from the chapter. I'll write it over here. 4 new words. Savages, mainland, boulder, as well as wandered. So I hope these words and their meaning are clear to you. Then let's read. What made Robinson Crusoe think that the print on the ground was a footprint? So the footprint was exactly the print of a foot. It was the print of a foot with toes, heel, and every part of a foot. So Robinson Crusoe thought that the print on the ground was a footprint. Now, why was Robinson afraid when he looked at the bushes and trees? He was afraid because he mistook every bush and tree. Mistook every bush and tree as a man. Then, why did Robinson pray when he saw the footprint? So, he got very scared and started praying for protection. So, he started praying for protection. Then, we need to choose the correct answer from the options given. So Robinson could run back to his home as fast as he could because he was racing. He was afraid and was in a hurry to go home. So basically he was afraid, and that's why he could run very fast. He could not sleep because there was animal outside his cave. He thought savages had come from the mainland. His bed was uncomfortable because he thought savages had come from the mainland. Now let's move to the next page. Why was Robinson Crusoe sure that it was not his footprint? Because it didn't look like a human footprint. It looked similar than his. he had not come to this part of the beach in a long time, because he had not come to this part of the beach in a long time. And where was Robinson Crusoe? On a boat, in a town, alone on an island, or on an aeroplane? So he was alone on an island. So the questions are complete with this. Now it says, how would you feel if you saw unknown footprints outside your door? So you need to answer this according to your own imagination. If I see, this will be my first question, right? So if I see unknown footprints outside the front door, I'll be very excited to see unknown foot. I'll be very excited. Just write down the points, and you can answer it according to you. I'll tell my elder sister and my family members about it. Will tell my family members about it. And will try to know who it is. So these are the things I'll do. You need to write your own answers according to your point of views and what do you feel. Second is, if you were alone at home and suddenly someone knocked at your door, what would you do? So at first I'll ask who is on the door. First I'll ask who is on the door and then open it. Now let's see what the chapter says next. It says the words in the sentences are jumbled. Now what we need to do is write them in order one has been done for you. So alone was not Robinson, an island on. Robinson was not alone on the island. So basically we need to do the rearrangement of sentences, basically the words, to give them a proper meaning. One has been done for us, we need to do the following. So was island the inhabited? It will be the island was inhabited. Footprint to someone this belonged. This footprint belonged to someone. This footprint belonged to someone. I around me looked. I looked around me. I went towards footprint large. I went towards the large footprint. Was afraid I now. Now I was afraid. So we have made all the sentences in a proper order and now they are meaningful. So now it says fill in the blanks with the correct word. The 4 words are given here and we need to fill the blanks accordingly so that they have a proper meaning for the sentence. Let us read the sentence and fill the words accordingly. I was frightened but curious. I decided to go to the beach, so I went along the water's edge. I ran as fast as I could because I was frightened and I was very tired and confused. So all the 4 words are used in the 4 sentences. The next is write a story on the strange footprints. Where did you see the footprints? What sort of a day was it? Did you see them at night? What happened when you followed these footprints? What did you see? And what happened then? So basically we need to write a story, and story writing is completely about one's is completely about an individual's imagination and creativity. So the hints, basically the taglines for the story, are given to us, and we need to make a story, because when we'll answer all these questions we'll have a story in front of us. Now this you need to do on your own, though I'll tell you a small story which I made according to the answers of these. I'll write the first line of the story over here, and then you can make your own stories. Okay, so we went to Jim Corbett National Park. Jim Corbett National Park for a family vacation. Now this is the starting of my story. You need to compose your own story. Let me tell you my story, okay? One day, we went to Jim Corbett National Park for family vacation. Then one day, a very strange incident happened with me. We were sleeping in our tent when suddenly I heard a strange sound outside my tent. It was a very dark night. I was feeling extremely scared. I looked out for a torch and went outside without informing anyone. After walking 5 to 10 steps, I saw strange footprints imprinted on the muddy ground. They were very tiny footprints, and that too had 7 fingers. I was completely amazed to see the extraordinary footprints. I kept on following the footprints and came very after following them, but to my disappointment, I wasn't able to find anyone there. So this is a small, very small story which I made. You can make similar stories or very different from this according to your own choice. These questions will be helpful to you while you are making a story. So next, it says use the joining words given below and join the sentences in column A and B. So now we need to join these sentences in column A and B using these joining words given here. So basically the joining words are the words which can join two sentences together, and we need to do the same here. So these are the sentences and these are the sentences. We need to join them using the joining words and then write them. So the example is given here. I wrote the letter, but I forgot to post it. So now we need to do it similarly. I can sing well. I can sing well, but I can't dance at all. So I can sing well, but I can't dance at all. Then we can make she wore a raincoat. She wore a raincoat because it was raining. She wore a raincoat because it was raining. The spelling, wait, I'll correct it. Because it was raining. So we need to do. Now what I'll do is, we may go to Shimla. We can make this sentence, we may go to Shimla, or we may go to Darjeeling. So I have made stars over here. We may go to Shimla or we may go to Darjeeling. He wanted a book. He wanted a book and football for his birthday. So we are combining these two sentences with and we're changing a little bit. So we'll write, he wanted a book. He wanted a book and football for his birthday. And football for his birthday. Then we have he missed the school bus, so he was late to school. So we are using so he was late to school. So we have joined all the sentences and we have used the joining words and have connected them with the other sentences. I hope this is clear to you and you now know that what are joining words and you can join the sentences using different joining words. Then next we have fun time. So what it says is, look at the footprint shown here. So we can see that this is a footprint. Hint is that this is the footprint of the first man on the moon and his name was. So we all know that who was the first man on the moon. He was Neil Armstrong. So I'll write his name here, Neil Armstrong. So this was a fun activity and these are the footprints of Neil Armstrong because he was the first man on the moon, and this was just a general knowledge question. We must all know that who was the first person to go on moon. The next is, let's create a pyramid. Use the following tools. What it says, a two-letter word beginning with B. So we can write B only, B-E. Then a three-letter word beginning with C. We can write cat. And then a four-letter word beginning with D. We'll write doll. A five-letter word beginning with E. We can write eagle. And a six-letter word beginning with F. We can write facial. So we made a pyramid. Okay, the words we used are bee, cat, doll, eagle and facial. The next is, have a conversation with your partner based on the picture below, and you can start it as, look at the footprints in the mud. So basically now you need to have a conversation. Now what is a conversation? Conversation is basically when two people talk, what are they speaking, and when we write it down, it is known as conversation. Okay, so talks among two people. Now we need to write a conversation among our partner that and according to the picture. So in the picture we can see that there are two hunters and they are talking about something. Hunter 1 says, look at the footprints in the mud. Now we need to continue it. So you will do it on your own, but I'll write 2 to 3 dialogues for you so that you can continue it further, or if you want to change them, you can completely change them. Hunter 2 would say, this does not look like human footprints. This doesn't look like human footprints. The first one will say again, of course, this looks like an elephant giant's footprint. Yes, it looks like an giant elephant's footprints. In the similar way, they'll continue their conversation. Now you can continue this particular conversation, or else you can make it something else. And then the hunter 2 would reply, but how is it possible? There is not a single elephant in this jungle. And then you can carry on the conversation forward. It's completely according to your creativity and imagination, whatever you want to do. So with this, we have come to the end of the chapter. We learned about footprints, the discovery of footprint, then some joining words we use to join sentences, and we wrote writing conversation, writing a story as well, and then writing a story. We also learned rearrangement of sentences, and some fill in the blanks as well. So I have completed the whole chapter, and I feel it is clear to you. If you have any doubt, you can ask me in the comment section, and I expect actually that you all will complete your assignment. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. We'll learn the next chapter in the next video. That's all. Thank you.